Hello.
What's up?
Just driving to work. What are you up to?
Just doing some work on the computer.
Nice. I'm just having a coffee, talking to my second favorite Livingston, and driving to work.
Second? Who's first?
The other Livingston, I know.
What's that guy? Who is he?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Lover squirrel.
yeah, my knee's pretty sore right now. Been training for the Star Wars half marathon. I think I talked about that before.
Yeah, you did.
I ran 3 miles this morning, and I haven't iced my knee yet, so it's like I need to do that.
You were going to dress up as Emperor Palpatine, and
I don't know if I'm going to do that because it's going to be kind of hot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I got to do something pretty funny.
Did you see that link I sent? That Star Wars concept art trailer.
I like that. Yeah, there's Ralph McQuarrie's concept art. They kind of make it into a movie. I think that looks cool. You know what it reminded me of is almost more of the prequels, though.
Yeah, it did. It was. Ralph McQuarrie. Actually, it reminded me a lot of Rebels, and I didn't really realize that Ralph McQuarrie, the guy who did the concept art for the original Star Wars, they based a lot of that show off of what he did back, 40 years ago.
Rebels.
Yeah. Well, if you look at what Chewbacca used to look like, that's what's that character's name? Zeb. It's a dead ringer for Zeb. And then if you look at R2, that looks just like Chopper from Rebels.
That's interesting. Yeah, they pull a lot from his concept art. They pull a lot from his concept art for Force Awakens, too, and I assume The Last Jedi. I think there's a couple big releases coming out soon, that being one of them.
Yeah.
We'll see how big it ends up being.
How big do you think it's going to be? Well, if we had to make a bet, how...
What was Force Awakens? 248?
247. Well, yeah, almost
247.
247? Yeah.
I'm going to guess 216.
216.
It won't be as big as... I don't think it'll be as big as Force Awakens, but I think it'll be... What's number 2 of all time? That's something we also got to look up. Is it Avengers?
I think it's Jurassic World, and then it's Avengers.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. What did Jurassic World make?
Like 202 million, and then Avengers did like 201. Like they just barely broke 200.
I'm going to stick with 216 then, because I think it'll beat both those, but I don't think it'll get quite as much as The Force Awakens.
I think I'm going to go. I don't know. It might. I don't. It won't. It definitely won't hit 250. I would say maybe 210. I'm just going to go a little below you. Yeah.
Okay. And we're doing Price is Right rules, right?
Yeah. You have to. If you go over, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So if it does less than that, then we're both out of the game, I guess. But
so you have a short range in which you'd be right. Because I'm 216, you're 210.
Yeah, so it's got to fall right in that. Right in that 6 million.
I'm going to change mine to 211.
No.
No, okay, I won't do that. I'll say it.
What are you doing?
I should
just
be
a dick and just say, 216 and a quarter.
Yeah.
Just be a little over you.
No, 216, that's what it's going to make.
Somebody was asking me questions the other day. I don't know. I figure we can ask these and see.
Okay.
Will Rey go to the dark side? Do you think yes or no?
Will in this movie
in the Last Jedi? Do you think she's going to become part of the Sith?
Here's the thing. I watched the full trailer, the last trailer that they did. I watched it once, and that's it. So I don't want, I don't read anything about it. I don't watch the TV spots or the scenes or anything they put out there. So from what I'm seeing, from what I saw, which is limited because I want it to be a surprise, I think they're kind of hinting at that there will definitely be a conflict there. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think she's going to have some sort of serious disagreement with Luke, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, it's a given from the trailers.
But I'm not sure who's going to be on what side of things because we have no idea really at this point what Luke's mindset is, except that he says the Jedi should end. But why? It's is it because he thinks they're bad, or does he think that the galaxy should move on from all Jedi and Sith or something? I don't know.
Well, from the trailer, it looks like that he was kind of scared. He saw how what happened with Kylo and the Knights of Ren, and I guess he doesn't want that mistake to go ahead, go again to where Rey would become dark, and I guess he's afraid of that. He doesn't want to be the guy that made another person that went to the dark side, I guess. But
right. So he's definitely questioning himself.
Probably.
But there's a lot of stuff that's going around that says he's a gray Jedi where he's kind of in the middle of dark and light. I don't know if they'll go that direction or not. I really don't know. I think she'll be tempted. I don't think she'll go to the dark side.
Yeah. Okay, well...
what do you think?
I don't think she'll... I kind of get the impression that she's going to go for Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren might go rogue from Snoke.
From Snoke?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I just have a feeling like he's going to pull away from Snoke and maybe do his own thing, and maybe Rey might join him at some point. But I don't know either. I don't think she's going to go to the dark side, but who knows?
I don't see Rey joining Kylo Ren. I don't think they'll ever get along after what he did. Han Solo. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Because I think that. I don't know. I don't think she could ever really work with him unless they do turn against Snoke together or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of interesting.
Oh, the other question was, will Luke die in Episode 8?
I hope not, but because we already lost Han Solo. It's like you can't kill Luke too. I just don't want that to happen. I don't know because he was only in one scene and he had no dialogue in The Force Awakens, and you're gonna kill him if they kill him in Last Jedi and he doesn't show up in Episode 9. It's like he was only in, he's the main character of the original trilogy, really.
Yeah.
So they basically would only have him in one movie. I don't know. I think that'd be weird. I don't think he'll die, but I think by the end of The Last Jedi, he will not be working with Rey anymore. Mm-hmm. They'll have some sort of weird split or something where they're going to disagree on stuff, and I don't think they'll be like enemies necessarily, but I think they'll be like, we cannot work together because we differ on these views.
Yeah, we'll take our own path to which way we're going to go. But
they might have an agreement where it's like, stay out of my way type of thing, and I will kill you if you get my way of whatever I try to accomplish or something.
Well, there was a speculation about Luke. If he did die, then he'd come back in Episode 9 as a Force Ghost, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi did in the original.
That's true.
So he would still be a part of it if he did die, but I don't know if they're going to go that route. I would like to see... I don't think he's going to die either. I think he's going to live and go on to Episode 9. If he does die, it'll be sometime in Episode 9.
I don't know if he'll even die in that. Or if he does die in Episode 9, they will bring him back as a Force Ghost, because they couldn't just kill him and then not ever show him again. Yeah. I think that's honestly what they're going to do with Leia as well. I'll bet she is in Episode 9 at the very end as a Force Ghost with, just like they did in Return of the Jedi, where they show everyone, just so in case they do kill her off, which I kind of think they might. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But I think she'll appear somehow in Episode 9. Even if it just has to be a CGI Carrie Fisher standing there,
right,
or something. Which is too bad. But maybe they'll be able to use some kind of footage from Last Jedi in the last episode. To put it in there.
Yeah, I know they did some reshoots and stuff. So I'm kind of curious at what if maybe they kill her off. I don't know if they do kill her off, it'd probably be in some heroic fashion.
They kind of make it seem that way too in the trailer. Like it seems like Kylo Ren's ship is like attacking hers or something, and like he's going to destroy her.
Yeah,
and if it came to a point where he kills Han Solo and Princess Leia, then I don't want to screw him. Yeah, and I don't want him.
And that's exactly the next question was: will Kylo go to the light side of the Force?
Just had a sip of coffee before I answered this one. I don't know. Here's the thing. Like when I remember talking with my dad about the original trilogy and some of my dad's friend, and like when they went to see Return of the Jedi, they did not want to see Darth Vader be redeemed. Mm. They did not expect that. They wanted to see him get killed because he's the bad guy, even if he was Luke's father. They didn't, that's kind of was the mindset. I don't know if that was everybody's mindset going into it, but I kind of thought about that. So it was a twist in Return of the Jedi that he would save him, really, because you're really not sure.
Right. Well, the difference is that, Kylo he killed somebody that was beloved by everybody.
Right.
And Darth Vader,
that's the thing.
He didn't really kill anybody, outside of, other than the younglings and the prequels.
But like in the original trilogy, he kills Obi-Wan, which people, obviously.
Yeah, but you weren't really attached to Obi-Wan at the very beginning of it was Obi-Wan was kind of something that you knew about after the fact. I guess you only seen like an hour of Obi-Wan, then he died, and then he became the Force Ghost in episode 4 or episode 5 and 6. But Han Solo, he had a whole arc in a trilogy, and then everyone knew who he was. And
it's different, and also different. Like Darth Vader, like as twisted as he was, like he thought he was doing it to save his family, And Kylo Ren just kills his father, so it's like, all right, he's already kind of a worse guy in that kind of way. I do think he'll get redeemed somehow, but I think it'll be something where he ends up dying too in Episode 9.
Yeah.
He'll sacrifice himself to save someone, and they'll say, well, he did a lot of bad things, but he did right in the end or something. I don't know.
I don't think he'll go directly to the light, but I think he'll be somewhere in the middle where he'll be dark and he's in the in between, I guess. But
I mean, really, that's kind of what Darth Vader did. It was only his last moment that he did any. He turned back to the light.
Pretty much, like, what, I did 20 years of terrible things, but I do one thing where I kill the Emperor, and now I'm okay again.
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, we'll see what happens with that.
The other question was, will we find out who Rey parents are?
Yes, I think we will in The Last Jedi, but I think it's going to be revealed like right near the end. It's going to be like the I'm your father type of thing, where it's near the end of the movie. And, like, they're going to probably hint at, like, several different people throughout the movie. Like, I'm sure it's going to begin with, Rey asking Luke, like, who's my parents? And he's going to be quiet about it at that time. And then, like, later on in the movie, he's going to tell her or something. And there's going to be some sort of, like, conflict, and then she's going to, like, demand to know who it is. And he's going to say, it's Snoke or whoever, Obi-Wan, Palpatine, I don't know. We'll see.
Do you think it'll be somebody that we know from the other
yes.
Star Wars stories?
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think it'll be someone that's at least in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll find out. I'm curious who it is. If you played the game, it kind of hits, the Battlefront 2, it kind of hints at some things, but I'm not sure how...
I'm sure they didn't reveal it in that one.
No, they didn't. They would be stupid to reveal it in a video game.
I bet what they did is they hinted at things that it's not.
Probably.
to probably throw you off the trail.
Because there are a lot of people who are sitting there going, at the end of Battlefront campaign, you're sitting there going, there's no way this is possible. Because everyone's saying maybe Iden Versio is the mother of Rey, which would be dumb because not that many people. I'm sure there's more people who don't play the game compared to people who do.
Right, especially like seeing the movie. I mean, if going to the movie and it's like, oh, this random stormtrooper, it was her mother, it'd be like, what? Who is that? Most people don't play the game, so it's...
Well, the next one was, will Snoke be someone mentioned or existing in the Star Wars films, in past Star Wars films, comics or television shows?
I still think that it's Plagueis. Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, I mean, just because... One reason was because John Williams was using almost the same theme from... Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when Palpatine was talking about him to Anakin, and it's like, that can't be just coincidence. I mean, that has to be, and I still hold on to that theory. I think Plagueis or Snoke is Plagueis.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's interesting seeing a couple things from The Last Jedi where Snoke's wearing like these gold robes, and it showed like a couple scenes of like the upper class of society, on some planet, some ritzy planet where they're all rich, and he's like mingling with them all.
Yeah.
So like, I think, Palpatine came from a rich family. Snoke apparently has money too, like just on his own somehow, or influence and wealth and whatever. So maybe that's how, maybe he's from Naboo, or maybe he's from that area or something, and that's how he found Palpatine. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could go with that, but I think, it's very similar to Palpatine in that he's kind of just seems like he has that influence already. Even if he wasn't in the First Order, he was already a huge political, wealthy figure.
Right.
And somehow he got disfigured, and I guess maybe that will be because of Palpatine or something. But I think it's Plagueis. I think after Palpatine thinks he kills him, he probably kind of went into hiding and just kind of built up his resources while he could until the Force Awakens kind of thing.
Yeah.
First Order and everything.
I think I even made a video on YouTube like 2 years ago saying that I think Plagueis is Snoke, but
yeah.
And a lot of people were like, "No way, man, no way." Even some people said, what the heck is Samuel L. Jackson's character's name?
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. They
thought it was Mace Windu. That'd be interesting.
A lot of people were saying, like, it's Mace Windu. And I'm like, man, you should have just got Samuel L. Jackson to play. Unless they were just trying to really screw up the audience and say, no, not Samuel L. Jackson. We're not going to use his voice. We're going to use Andy Serkis's voice, just because it would be a dead giveaway if we use Sam Jackson. But I'm like, that's grabbing at straws. I don't think that's going to be the case.
He might be some kind of totally new character. I don't know.
I mean, we don't even. They say that because Samuel L. Jackson basically gets zapped by the Emperor, and then he gets thrown off, and you don't really see him land anywhere or actually die.
Yeah.
That was their whole thing. If you want to go by that theory, then Han Solo didn't really die either because he fell, and we didn't really see him land anywhere. That's what people were speculating back when Force Awakens was like, oh, he could still be alive. I'm like, no, man.
No, he's dead.
He fell a long ways.
He fell, and let's say he survives that landing. He probably broke both his legs. Then the Starkiller base blows up. He did not survive that. He's dead.
It's crazy what some theories, when they come out, you're going.
I think at this point, if they brought Han Solo back, I'd be kind of pissed off. I'd be like, well, that totally, it makes the Force Awakens pointless.
Pretty much.
And it's like, as much as I don't want to see that character go, that's the way he kind of should go. Like, it was probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford, I don't think he has any interest in playing Han Solo anymore. So.
Well, he wanted him to die back in Return of the Jedi, so.
Yeah. I think he wanted him to die in Empire.
Yeah, probably. And we were talking about that the other day you said Empire was the best Star Wars film.
It probably is, yeah.
And I said, what was the conversation we were talking about? I said Raiders and Back to the Future had better lines than
Empire?
Than Empire.
No. Better lines?
Had better lines. I think, and I said they were better movies as well.
Oh no, they're not better movies.
I think they're better movies.
Raider. I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love Back to the Future. Back to the Future is honestly nowhere near Empire Strikes Back, though. It just isn't. Raiders is great, but Raiders are close. I'll say that, but it is not as
Raiders good. Has, I think it's 2 points higher on Rotten Tomato than Empire.
That means nothing.
Yeah,
Empire
it's
Empire is the best. Empire is one of the best movies of all time.
It's a great movie. I'm not going to deny that, but I love Empire. But
what do you mean better quotes?
We were talking about lines and dialogue. I said Empire has good dialogue, like "No, I am your father," or
yeah.
I mean, but when it comes to memorable lines, I think Back to the Future has more memorable lines than Empire does.
You think it's more memorable than "No, I am your father"?
No, well, that's hard to top.
Back to the Future.
That's a moment in film history that that was like the biggest surprise back in the '80s. I won't deny that. That was a great moment.
Name a quote from Back to the Future that's better than that.
I said lines. I didn't say one line.
So name one line that's better than that. Then. Is that?
I don't know where we're going. We don't need roads, but
that's better than "No, I'm Your Father."
I said lines. I didn't say okay. Empire has one great line that probably bashes anything that's in Raiders and Back to the Future. But when you put it all together, I don't think Empire has as many great lines as Back to the Future and Raiders does.
Empire has the whole movie is so quotable. I think it's so great. I totally. Well, name a better line from Raiders then.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
That's good, but is that really better than "No, I am your father"?
You're going to keep going back to "No, I am your father." I mean,
because nothing will top that.
No, it won't, because that's like one of the biggest lines in movie history.
Can you name a quote that's from any movie that's better than that? That's more iconic than that.
More iconic than "No, I am your father."
Yeah, I mean that's got to be number one, right? Or at least close to it. I cannot think of anything more iconic than that.
I mean, there are lines frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. But today, that's from Gone with the Wind. But today's audience, that's not that big. I don't know.
Rosebud.
That's
pretty iconic, but I don't think that's as good.
Shoot, I can't even think of any.
I also don't think anything is as recognizable as "No, I'm Your Father." If I said, Rosebud, not everyone's going to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or know what movie that's from. Same with the one you just said. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Not everyone's going to know what that's from.
No, the younger generation won't, for sure. I'm the King of the World, Titanic.
That's not. I wouldn't say that.
No, I mean, I'm just kind of going through movie lines right now.
I'll Be Back. That's pretty good.
I'll Be Back. Yeah, Hasta La Vista, baby.
Hasta La Vista, baby. That's pretty good.
Shoot, I mean,
I'm just thinking action movies now.
I'm going through Hollywood Reporter, their 100 greatest lines. Go ahead, make my day.
What's number one? I'll bet it's No, I'm Your Father.
You think so?
They'd probably put Rosebud at number one or something.
It seems like Citizen Kane's always number one for some ungodly reason. I mean, it's a great movie. Why So Serious, number 13. I Am Your Father is number 11.
What?
On their list.
What's number one?
Getting there. There's No Place Like Home, number 9. You Talking to Me, number 8. I'm Going to Make Him an Offer He Can't Refuse. Toto, I Feeling We're Not in Kansas Anymore. I think that is a bigger line. We're not in Kansas anymore.
That's pretty good. That's pretty iconic, yeah.
May the Force Be With You.
That's not, well, I can see that's said more, but I don't think it's ever as iconic as when he says, No, I'm Your Father.
There's You're Going to Need a Bigger Boat, Jaws.
That's good.
Here's Looking at You Kids, number 2. And number 1 is exactly what I said. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
Number 1 quote of all time.
Yeah. Well, according to them, I still think it's No, I'm Your Father. But, whatever. Let's move on to the next topic, though. What else are we going to talk about today?
Well, you got Jurassic World trailer came out.
I saw it. I think it looks good.
It does look good.
Of course, you have Jeff Goldblum. His life finds a way.
Yeah, life. And then there's that pause, finds a way. And you're like,
yeah. Like, I knew what he was going to say. When he kept talking about life, he's like, he's going to say life finds a way.
They're going to fit it in there somehow. I mean, I'm still on the fence on whether I'm going to. I mean, I'm going to watch it. I love Jurassic Park. I like Jurassic World. I mean, I like the entire franchise, minus Jurassic Park 3. I wasn't really a big fan of that one.
Yeah. See, I wasn't a huge fan of The Lost World either.
I love The Lost World. I thought it was darker. It was just. I enjoyed it.
It was. I liked the first one. I mean, I like the second one. I even don't hate the third one, but I think they get worse as they go on.
I mean, that was the first.
I think Jurassic World is better than 3 and The Lost World.
Oh yeah. I mean, The Lost World. That was the first movie. It's one of those things that hits in my. Nostalgia, because it was the first film I went and saw a midnight showing of. It was like Thursday night. I had school on Friday. I think I was like in middle school or something. But my dad's like, we're going to go see the midnight showing of The Lost World. And we're like, yeah. And we got out like 2. We loved it. Go to school. And we're like the only kids in school, my sister and I, to go around and go, we saw Lost World before everyone,
Yeah.
But, no, I enjoyed The Lost World. I know it got rotten on Tomato, the score.
Did it? No, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's nearly as good as the first one.
No, the first one was great, but if you look, there's only 11 minutes of dinosaurs actually in the film. I thought that was ridiculous. That in
The Lost World?
Yeah, either it's 11 to 20 minutes. It's a really small number.
Yeah.
Visual effects wise, but. Yeah, I mean, as for the Jurassic World Lost, what was it called? Lost Kingdom?
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. I don't know about the story just yet. I mean, this is more or less a teaser trailer than it was an actual theatrical trailer. So I'm really curious how the story's going to roll, because so far I'm like, I don't know if I really like the idea of the island just, blowing up the volcano. We heard nothing about a dormant volcano in past Jurassic Park films.
Yeah.
So and
it's kind of random. You'd think, I mean, this is 24 years after the first movie. You'd think they'd have technology to say, all right, there's a volcano here and it could erupt someday. I don't know how far in advance they can detect volcanoes, but if a volcano is going to erupt in 20 years, you'd think there'd be evidence that there's a volcano activity there at least or something,
But, there was no say in that in past movies. Of course, this was probably just something we need a story, we need to figure out what we're going to do for a sequel, so they end up making a volcano. And I mean, but you see the dinosaurs at some point do get off the island, because you do see them in in trucks and on a boat going somewhere, so they kind of spoil the fact that they do get the dinosaurs off the island at some point, but...
I wonder if it's just a small part of it. I wonder if they get the dinosaurs off the island within the first half hour of the movie or something, and then the rest of the movie is in New York or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of different.
I'd be really curious. And
it wouldn't surprise me if most of the trailer was from footage from the first half of the movie, and they're not on the island for the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, and they also discuss in Jurassic World talking about doing a military aspect and bringing dinosaurs into that, and they kind of hinted that could have been a sequel.
Yeah, that's where I thought they were going.
So, I mean, maybe they are saving it for the second half of the next movie, or maybe they're saving it for a third film in the Jurassic World trilogy. But
yeah,
who knows? That's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I'll see it. I thought it looked good.
Did you see Ready Player One?
The new trailer,
yeah. The new trailer 2?
Yeah. I mean, I just like seeing a DeLorean in a movie. I think it's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Well, anytime a DeLorean's in it, it's going to be the greatest movie.
I wish they would. I wish they would make another Back to the Future movie, like another sequel somehow. I don't know how they would do it, but I would totally
would love
watch
to
it.
see if they did it. I would like to see it. Doc Brown's kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way I think they could do it, because Michael J. Fox isn't really able to do what he would do back in the 80s.
you can give him a cameo.
Yeah.
You know, give
the same with Doc
Christopher
Brown.
Lloyd a cameo. Yeah.
But
Very
I mean,
version.
somehow have like the kids find a time machine, or it just could be in the universe. It doesn't have to necessarily be a DeLorean, but it could just be in the same universe with the same kind of. I don't want to see a continuation of Marty McFly and his family. Or
here's what you could do. They have their steampunk time machine thing, right?
Yeah.
Now we're going off topic, but I just thought of this. I think it's clever. You have the steampunk time machine, and then the DeLorean that sits in that cavern from 1885 to 1955. That he picks up and then goes back in time.
Yeah.
Again. So between 1885 and 1955, it's just sitting there. What if they end up somehow in between those time periods, and they get the DeLorean? They're like, all right, we can mess around with it as long as it gets back in this cavern before 1955.
Exactly the way it was when we got it.
Right. So then they go on their adventures, and then at the end of their trilogy, they put the DeLorean back, and then in 1955, he finds the DeLorean. Nobody knows any difference, and then he goes back and saves Doc Brown and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the way they should do it.
That would be interesting.
And then it would question their own existence, because it's like, oh no, we got to get the DeLorean back, otherwise we won't exist, because Marty McFly won't go back in time to save Doc. Maybe that's a little too complicated, but
no, I think it does
work.
kind of work, because they do the same kind of thing in Back to the Future 2 with them going back to the same time. But if you had it to where like the kids are somehow left in like the 1930s or something like that, and then they're like, wait a minute, our dad has a time machine backed away over in Hill Valley in that mine shaft. We should probably go and get it so we can go back and do this and do that. But
then you could have it set in like 30s California,
yeah,
30s LA. That would be cool, because then you could have like a really old Hollywood feel to it or something.
Right.
I'd watch that. That'd be fun.
That would be interesting, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Robert Zemeckis kind of said, like, we're done unless they pass the mantle down, or there's some kind of script that just blows them out of the water where they can continue the story. I seriously doubt they're going to do a fourth one.
Yeah, I mean, they should do it like, they should, The Force Awakens it, where it's like a reboot and a sequel almost at the same time.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I was thinking, I watched A New Hope last night for the first time since, I think, before The Force Awakens, actually. Because I'm going to watch the original trilogy and Force Awakens before Last Jedi, skipping the prequels this time. But I try to watch it with the mindset as if I have never seen any of the Star Wars movies before, and just like, this is something brand new, and just kind of figuring it out right there. Yeah. The Force Awakens, I think that's the closest I'll ever feel to what it would have been like to watch A New Hope in theaters, in a way, if that makes sense, because it's like, all new characters. Like when I watched The Force Awakens, it was all new characters at first, and I was okay with that. Like, I was okay not seeing Han Solo and Luke right away, because I actually liked the new characters, and that's kind of how you feel. That's kind of how I felt about A New Hope. Like, oh, these characters are interesting, and also I thought it was funny, like, just the relationship of the characters, like, and how the movie is styled. Like, it's totally, obviously influenced by Japanese cinema. I mean, there's a part where one of the Imperials says, we got to find the rebels' hidden fortress. Like, okay, like, what do you think they're referencing there? And it's also, so it's based off like the samurai type of cinema. It's also really, a lot of it is a Western. Oh, it's really not sci-fi at all.
It's very it's very serialized. It's more like a soap opera drama. I mean, they even say it's a soap, like a soap opera in space.
It really is.
They call it a space opera.
Yeah, but like you have I think it's funny. Like, you have Luke, who's clearly like the weakest character in this movie. Like not like he's bad, but just like everybody else in this movie is going to be able to beat him up. So he meets Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan saves his life. He meets Han Solo. He thinks Han Solo is like, the coolest guy. Like, he's, Han Solo acts all cool. And then when they finally meet Princess Leia, like suddenly Princess Leia's like on the top of the, of the food chain type of thing, where she doesn't think Han Solo's cool, and he's like totally offended by that, which I think is hilarious.
There's a couple things. I mean, I love all the Star Wars. I mean, other than the prequels, those are whatever. But when I watched A New Hope, I watched it probably about a month ago. I watched it with somebody who never seen A New Hope.
Yeah,
and
which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm like, seriously, you never watched it? But watching it, I'm going, man, Luke is so whiny in this movie.
He's very whiny.
I gotta go to Tosche Station to pick up some power converters, and you're like, oh my god, dude.
I know he's very whiny, but that was the interesting thing. Like he really doesn't do anything, and also I thought it's so like ironic that Leia's comforting him after Obi-Wan dies, even though her whole planet gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, why is she comforting
my
him?
My parents just died, so
like
buck up, buddy.
Everybody I ever knew is dead. Everybody I grew up with, my planet's destroyed.
Your friend.
But you lost the weird hermit that was watching over you, on your
they
planet.
grew a really close bond in a matter of a day or two. Luke between Luke and Obi-Wan, because he talks about him as if he's not anybody he hangs around with.
It's like, I wonder if he means old Ben, some strange old hermit. He doesn't even he's met him only a couple times or seen him around or something.
Yeah,
it's just kind of funny.
And that's
way.
kind of thrown in there, like in the Force Awakens, where Chewie walks past Leia after Han Solo dies, and Leia goes over and hugs Rey, and she's only known Han Solo for like a day or two as well.
Yeah,
it's like, why aren't you hugging Chewie? Chewie's known him for like 40 years, and you just bypass him like no big deal.
Leia's always got to comfort these weak characters.
Yeah, like, I'll hug you. Chewie can handle himself. Rey's really, really sad about Han, though.
Leia probably is the strongest character in the Star Wars movies.
Probably.
Like, in terms of, being emotionally strong, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Luke kind of is a wimp, at least in A New Hope. He becomes tougher later on, but, and then Han Solo is tough, but I think Han Solo acts more tough than he really is, if that makes sense. Like, he puts on a show.
It's a persona, basically.
It's a persona,
It's like as soon as he's done with his brooding and stuff like that, he goes into his room and he's like, what a tough day.
Yeah, right. Or like the scene where he's chasing all the stormtroopers, and then, they change it in the special editions where there's a whole room full of them. And he stops, he turns around and starts running away. It's just kind of funny, funny stuff like that, I think. It's like, wait a minute. People, like the stormtroopers kind of caught on, wait a minute, this guy's really not tough. He's kind of a lot more bark than he is bite in some ways. Yeah. But that's why we love him.
But he always comes out, other than the very last thing in The Force Awakens where he dies, but he always seems to get out of a pinch pretty quick.
Yeah.
But are you going to go see the Last Jedi this Friday?
I'm planning on seeing it. I'm hoping to see it Thursday night. But, I looked up a bunch of theaters near Orlando, and, the only seats that are left are at the front of the theater, and they're, $30, and I'm like, I really don't want to spend that much on, cranking my neck to look straight up at the screen.
Yeah.
So I'll see. If I don't see it Thursday, I am going to see it Friday for sure, though. And I'll probably see it, 3 or 4 times in theaters, just because.
I want to go see it Friday as well, probably.
I'm not reading any reviews, although I saw that it's gotten 92, 93% so far on Rotten Tomatoes. But I'm not going to read any of the reviews because I don't want to know anything. I want to go in and be totally surprised. But
they say to go in and watch it without having any knowledge of what's going on. They say it's the best way to watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish Empire, Return of the Jedi, and Force Awakens before I go see it. I'll probably watch Empire and Return of the Jedi tonight. Watch Force Awakens tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm just a little kid again. I'm just so excited, and it's great. I'm really honestly. People are like, "Oh, there's gonna be too many Star Wars movies." I will not get sick of it for a long time, especially if they've been as good as Force Awakens or Rogue One was. Hopefully they continue that kind of quality. And if The Last Jedi is as good as everyone's saying it is, I'm really looking forward to Rian Johnson's spin-off trilogy or whatever they want to call that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious. Definitely going to go see it probably twice this weekend because I know I'll see it Friday, and then I have people that want to go see it on Sunday as well. And I might go with them, but, I'm not going to complain. Seeing it twice.
Yeah, right.
But
I'd like to see it many times as I can, if it's good.
Yeah, if it's good. But anyway, bro, I got to get going. Time to start some work for the day.
All right. We'll talk again soon.
All right,
Have
man.
a good one.
Adios.
All right. See ya.